All right, everyone, I have some really awesome news that I think a lot of you guys are really going to appreciate, and that is a tip to use a particular item right now, and that's because we have a certain event going on that is actually going to boost this item and make it way better. To be exact, it's going to make it twice as good. So think of it this way. If you use this item right now, it's kind of like you're getting a 2-for-1 special, because later on, after this event ends, it's essentially going to only be half as good. And I want to explain the details of really how to use this item properly. Now, the item that I'm talking about is actually an item that is available in your knighthood, and it is a food item as well, but I know that we've actually been given a couple of them for free, and I'm talking, of course, about the Deathmatch Boss Battle foods. And these are going to be the foods that end up giving you more of the boss materials from your deathmatch, and you can end up getting them from the level 4 knighthood shop. And there are 3 of them for the 3 different demons. You've got the strawberry parfait, which ends up giving you 100% additional red demon's horns. You've got the chocolate parfait, which ends up giving you 100% additional gray demon's wings. And the reason why I have 9 of them is because I believe the bingo event ended up giving you a decent chunk of these. So we might get more of them in the future as well. So you don't just have to get them from the knighthood shop. You do have a couple of them coming to you for free as well. And the last one here is the Mango Parfait, which is going to end up giving you 100% additional Demonic Beast Howlex's ears. So they do cost 30 knighthood coins each. I definitely wouldn't go too crazy and buy them all out every single day. These are items that you normally want to use, pretty infrequently. And one of the traditional uses that I like to use them for is if I have way too many of one boss material, but I have way too few. Because you need 50 of each of the boss materials evenly in order to limit break from 60 to 80, what I'll do is a lot of the times I'll buy these foods for boss materials that I have a really low number on. So I can essentially use the boosted drop rate to catch up to the materials that I have a really high number of. So, this is one of those things where, for the time being anyway on Global, you kind of have to let the RNG gods decide what demons you actually get from your boss battles. But let me get into the event that is actually going on right now that makes these way better right now compared to later on in the future without this event. And it's going to be one of the half anniversary events right here. If you end up going to the buff list, it's actually this one right here, Deathmatch Reward ×2, Host Bonus ×2. And having them both there is actually really important because we've had events like this before where it was like just the host bonus, for example. But this one is actually both of them. And what that means is that every single drop that you end up getting from your death matches that has those boss materials is going to be doubled. That includes your host bonus as well. And this is huge because normally when you end up getting a deathmatch drop, it's going to either be one of the boss materials or 2 of them. And with this event going on, it's doubled. So now it's going to be either 2 of them or 4 of them. And this is without even using the food. But the crazy thing is, using the food is now going to double it yet again. So you're doubling a double, which actually means that you're going to be getting 4 times the original amount of deathmatch boss materials. So now the stacks are either going to be 4 of the boss materials, or you can even get lucky and get 8 of them in just one single stack. So, think of it this way. Because we're getting double of them already, your food effects are now getting doubled as well. Whereas if you wait to use these foods until after this event, you're not going to get that additional boost to the actual food itself. So it's definitely a great time to use them. And just so you guys can actually see a couple of runs here, like this one right here, you can see that I'm getting stacks of 4, but this is the lower number. You can end up getting even more of them. This one as well, I ended up getting stacks of 4. That was a pretty good run right there. But this is the crazy one, and you can see that I even got stacks of 8. So if you add that all up right there, that is a total of 24 of the red demon horns that I ended up getting at just one single run. And without this event active and without the foods, that's basically unheard of. I mean, there's plenty of runs that I go where I basically don't get any of them, or maybe like 1, 2. It's just crazy how many of these you can get with the event and with the foods active. Now, another really good piece of news is those of you guys who are a low spender, pay to play. Unfortunately, this doesn't apply if you are free to play, but if you guys do end up having the actual bundle, the monthly bundle, which I believe is $24, what this actually does is make it so that every single time you do a boss battle, it has a 100% chance to trigger the deathmatch. There's no RNG anymore. It's just one boss battle, and now the deathmatch spawns. And I want to show you guys something else here as well. very importantly. So if we go to the boss battle, I'm going to go ahead and trigger this one right here. I'm just going to end up using an auto clear ticket because I don't want to put in this footage into the video, so that'll just speed it up a little bit. So if I do this right here, of course using my skip ticket team for the affinity, using one single skip ticket is always going to end up triggering this if you end up having that subscription bundle. But now let's end up going to the actual deathmatch here. And another important thing, if you guys want to get the absolute maximum efficiency for the event and for the foods, is absolutely make sure to run the highest difficulty that you can. And this is actually something that I made a big mistake on when I was newer, is because I didn't really understand how the drops and the loot tables work. But very importantly, when it comes to the actual drops here, you'll see that the bronze boxes, even though they're the bronze boxes, which is the lowest one, these are the ones that end up giving you your boss materials. And on normal difficulty, it's 50%. That means that the other 50% is either going to be awakening stones or treasure chests, right? Now, if you end up going to hard, even though the loot table doesn't actually change for the actual materials, it now goes up from a 50% to a 60% chance. So now whenever you end up getting a drop, it's a higher chance that the drop is going to end up being your boss materials. And then, of course, on extreme, it's going to end up being 70%. So that's why it took me a really long time to kind of notice that when I was doing runs on normal and hard, I was seeing way more things like chests and awakening stones, and not really as many boss materials. But if you end up doing the higher difficulties, you're going to see way more of these boss materials drop, and that means that you're going to get way more efficiency for your food as well. So definitely an important point. Now, I want to answer the question as well of, is this worth it? Is this something that's worth the knighthood coins? Because it's, you know, we got a couple of these from the bingo event, but if you want to get the absolute maximum from what's going on right now, you're going to have to end up using some knighthood coins to do this. And I would say, especially if you guys are still working on really limit breaking a lot of crucial units, absolutely this is going to be worth it. Once you end up getting to the point that I'm at, where I just have like so many boss materials that, you know, it's pretty ridiculous at this point. I know I do need to work on units, but all the units that I really use super frequently are already at level 80. At this point, it's probably not as worth it. There might be better ways to put your knighthood coins to use, but it's still the best time in order to use those food items. And I always say it's a great opportunity to even out the amount of materials that you have. So, you know, if you have like 200 less, or maybe 200 is not the best example. Let's say you have 50 less of the Howlex ears compared to the Gray Demon and the Red Demon. You know, it's not bad to use this food on the Howlex ears in order to catch up to the amount of materials that you have for Gray Demon and Red Demon, because those limit breaks, taking it from 60 to 80, is going to use 50 of each of the materials. So you generally want to stick to having, you know, roughly an even amount or so. All right, and I think that's going to be about all the info for the video today. I threw a lot at you, but you guys know how much I love tips when it comes to efficiency and getting the most out of resources, and I absolutely felt like a lot of you guys would appreciate a video like this. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that you did enjoy, and if you did and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. Feel free to toss a quick like as well. It really does mean more than you can imagine. So thank you so much to all of you guys who decide to do that. More Grand Cross Global videos should be popping up on the screen right about now, or in the suggested videos to your right or below. Feel free to check them out. But if not, until next time, have a fantastic day, everyone. Take care. And this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.